Welcome to our stress management training. Now, the topic of this is actually stress management through self-care. I hope that after you're done with this presentation that you take some time to look at the topics and the strategies that we go over and figure out ways that you could apply those to your daily life to help you better manage your stress and take care of yourself. Now, looking at it, right, what is self-care? Self-care means taking the time to do things that help you live well and improve both your physical health and your mental health. When it comes to your mental health, self-care can help you manage stress, lower your risk of illness, and increase your energy. Did you know that it has been proven that self-care has a lot of really great benefits? Reduce or even eliminate anxiety, reduce or even eliminate depression, reducing your stress, increasing your happiness, helping you to recover from setbacks and adapting to changes, and helping you to build strong relationships. Over the next couple of slides, we are going to explore the different types of self-care. There are 7 that we will look at today: physical, social, spiritual, personal, space, financial, and work/employment. Now, let's start with physical. Physical self-care is actually taking care of your body. So sleeping 6 to 8 hours, some people need even more. Walking, movement, exercise, whatever that might look, but moving your body. Stretching, yoga, nutrition. You are what you eat. What you eat makes up your body. So make sure that you are feeding it fuel. Social self-care can be a little bit more complicated. Social self-care can include setting healthy boundaries. Now this can be with coworkers, with your family members, with friends. Another aspect would be having a support system, and a positive one is definitely the most important part. Social media can be another form of social self-care, as long as you set boundaries with that as well. A healthy and positive communication, setting up that path of communication with those that you're closest to, and having friendships and relationships. Again, this can be outside of family, outside of your household, or even within, making sure that that communication and those healthy relationships are there. Spiritual self-care can look like a lot of different things, depending on how you were brought up or what your belief system is. Spending time alone or only with yourself can be a great way to get into a good connection with your spiritual side. Meditation is a fantastic stress management technique. If you're looking for an app to start to get into that, if it is not already part of your spiritual routine, you can use Insight Timer. It is a free resource and I highly recommend it. Prayer is another way to take care of that spiritual aspect of self-care. Being in nature itself and having a sacred space. So to branch off of the spiritual type just a little bit, I want to quick dive into some self-affirmations. If you've ever met with me for a long term, we may have talked about some self-affirmations when it comes to stress management and just dealing with life in general. Negative thoughts come so much quicker, and it's simply because the neurons in our brains that make up our thoughts seem to just connect that much easier when a negative thought or situation arises. Once those connections are made, it's a lot easier for our brains to just turn to those negative thoughts and that negative response. It takes energy to find that positive. It takes energy to rewrite and rewire our brain to go to the positive. Once we can get to those positives, over time, those neurons and those connections are built, and then those become the easier ones for our brain to get at. But it does take work. Some ways to start to rewire that can be keeping a list of good things in your life, reading it often, reading it to yourself, reading it out loud. Just start to keep track of small wins. Those things can add up and help our minds to refocus and become more positive. Personal self-care. Some of these things can look like hobbies, activities, being creative, setting goals in any capacity, work, not work, personal goals, health goals, having an identity, being authentic to yourself. Some other ideas that are not on this list. Telling other people what they mean to you, being present with your children, saying yes, but also saying no, and not having to explain why you can't or don't want to. Just saying no, because that is what feels good for you. Resting. Resting is personal self-care. Taking a break when you need it, when you want it. Asking for help. That's a hard one. Eating well, fueling your body, pursuing your dreams, sharing honestly with others, being alone, taking time for yourself. These all can be ideas or ways to take care of yourself, your personal self-care. To once again branch off from that personal self-care, I want to talk a little bit about journaling. There's no right or wrong way to journal. You don't have to be consistent. Just do it when it feels right. There's a lot of different types of journaling too. We don't have to have a diary that we write down every single detail of our lives and recall everything and spend a lot of time journaling. That necessarily isn't always going to be helpful. For some people it will. But for others, one sentence every day. It can be something totally random. It can be a summary of your day. It can be one thing that happened. Just one sentence, getting something down each day. Did you know that taking a video of yourself also counts as journaling? It's a video journal. If you don't want to take a video, you can do a voice recording. It's kind of the same thing. It's just getting thoughts out of your brain and down onto a piece of paper. Did you know that there are also journals out there that have prompts? So you can flip through a book, a journal, right? And on each page, there are different prompts to help you develop your journaling. Taking journaling one step further and documenting how you care for yourself. Taking care of yourself daily is important, but taking notes can be a great way to show yourself how you're caring. You can start simple, feeding yourself, cuddling a pet, taking a walk, drinking water. Then you can get into more complex as you feel more comfortable. If you spoke up for yourself in a meeting, you had an interaction that was uncomfortable, you write it down, get it out of your brain, and don't overthink it. It happened. You can't go back in time and change the way that it happened. Talking to a friend vulnerably can be a great way as well. And writing that stuff down, getting it out of your brain, putting it on a piece of paper, that right there can help to reduce your anxiety, reduce your stress. Documenting how you care for yourself can be a great way to start to build, reinforce more positive Thoughts? So that fifth type of self-care is space. Feeling safe, having a healthy environment, feeling stable and having that stability every day, day in, day out. Being in a clean and organized space. Speaking from experience on the clean and organized, when you have too much clutter and too much stuff, or things aren't put away and they're strewn about, that right there can cause stress, and you might not even realize that that is what is causing you the stress. Cleaning up and staying organized, feeling safe, those are all good ways to help your stress and help lower that anxiety that you might feel. You might not even realize that that is what is causing you anxiety, so maybe take a look around and see if there's things that you can straighten up, things that you can get rid of that are weighing you down, that don't bring you joy, and start to create that healthy, organized environment where you're safe and stable. Financial self-care. Having a budget, sticking with that budget, building a savings, having that cushion just in case you need it, managing your money in a healthy way, not obsessing, but staying on task with your money, paying your bills on time, and having those boundaries. Boundaries can be a great thing to start putting in place in many aspects of your self-care and of your life. Boundaries around money can be a great way to stick to that budget, build your savings. Employment self-care is a really big one. You have to work to make money. You have to make money to have a life, right? So setting boundaries with your work-life balance is so important. Taking breaks when you're given them legally is going to help that stress that you might feel when it comes to your work. Time management is huge. If you're cramming way too much into your day, that's going to stress you out. Make your lists, however that works for you, but managing your time, setting your work boundaries, and using your breaks will be a huge, huge way to help your work self-care and keep your stress, when it's related to work, under control and managed. So I know we covered a lot in this PowerPoint, and we didn't cover too many things very deeply. But I would really, really love it if you would take a look at what we all went over and just reflect on it and see what you can do today to better take care of yourself for tomorrow. And also, if there is one of these topics that you would like me to kind of dive more into, or maybe do a follow-up PowerPoint presentation on, I would love to do that. Please send me an email so I can follow up and create some more in-depth resources for you and help tackle those aspects of self-care that you might realize that you need a little bit more help in. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you, I appreciate your time, and I really hope that you learned something that you can bring into your stress management world to help you better manage your stress using some self-care. Thanks again.